No, you will not get any lame, tired Ghostbusters phrases and puns in my Ghostbusters Frozen Empire intro. Just to try to be funny, keyword being try. You get enough of that in pretty much every other movie review show. And as it turns out from this actual movie, too, I'm emotionally armoring up because unfortunately, I'm going to have to be Johnny Raincloud in this here spoiler free review of this latest Ghostbusters movie. But first, this.
In a world where the number of movies available is great, but many are so bad, you'll learn a new definition of hate. One man sifts and reviews through the movie sludge. One man will be the movie cop, jury, and judge. He goes by many names, but you know him by Movies Merica.
That intro don't lie, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Yes, welcome to this Movies America live on this Sunday afternoon. If you're watching it live, I, as always, am your humble host, Van Ebert, okay, or Movies America, as some people tend to label me, okay? So, and yes, this is going to be a Ghostbusters Frozen Empire edition of Movies America Live, my spoiler-free movie review show that I do every Sunday afternoon. And yeah, let me just take this chance to welcome my movie maniacs and my fellow freedom-fueled film fanatics. You know who you are, okay? So, and real quick here, if you even have someone that you even remotely suspect might enjoy this episode, especially watching it live, well, get on the horse right now and forward the link to this episode to whoever that may be, okay, who you think might want to talk live in the live chat all about Ghostbusters Frozen Empire or anything Ghostbusters for that matter with yours truly right here, okay? So, yeah, we're going to get right into Ghostbusters Frozen. I was about to say Frozen Kingdom, but I guess, or Possum Kingdom, but no, it's the Toadies. We're going to get into so Frozen Empire, Ghostbusters. So this would be the fifth Ghostbusters movie, I believe, in this case. And this movie is directed by Gil Kenan or Gil Kenan. I haven't really got a handle on how you say his last name yet, but I'm going to go with Gil Kenan. And it's not directed by Jason Reitman because Reitman probably knew to give this movie a wide berth, okay, and stay away, at least as director, that is, okay. But the plot of Frozen Empire, I mean, really what it is it's a continuation of what they teased at the end of Ghostbusters Afterlife, where they teased that they would be relocating the next Ghostbusters adventure from small town Oklahoma to big city New York City. Yes, they're relocating it to the Big Apple, or if you've been there recently, the Big Crapple, that you, as you may want to call it. Okay, so I was gonna say, well, it's always smelled like rotted garbage, but now it especially smells like rotted garbage. But anyway, so yeah, so Ghostbusters Frozen Empire relocates this Ghostbusters movie to New York City. And so, yeah, we have like Paul Rudd and Carrie Coon and McKenna Grace and Finn Wolfhard. I even get the podcast and Lucky character in the Afterlife showing up in New York City. And of course, you get the old cast, Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Ernie Hudson, Annie Potts in this. And right from the jump in this movie, it's all about the new characters, Paul Rudd, Carrie Coon, Finn Wolfhard, and McKenna Grace as our new Ghostbusters in action. And they're chasing down a ghost. And so it just establishes right off the bat that these are the new Ghostbusters in New York. Ernie Hudson's Winston Zeddemore character even bought them the firehouse, the old classic Ghostbusters firehouse that they got in 1984. So remember the old firehouse that Dan Aykroyd was going crazy for, in the original one where they're thinking about buying it, and Bill Murray asked Egon, like, "Hey, what do you think about this firehouse?" He's like, "This building should be condemned. The electrical wiring is completely unsatisfactory for our electrical needs. It's about the retaining walls are about to come down." And then all of a sudden Dan Aykroyd comes down. It's like sliding down the fire pole. "This place is great. When can we move in? We should sleep here tonight. We should camp here. Come on." It's because of Dan Aykroyd's enthusiasm there. They eventually, thankfully, buy the beloved Ghostbusters firehouse there. But that's where the new characters are at in this relocated version of Ghostbusters. And then you meet some new characters. One of the new characters is played by Kumail Nanjiani, if I'm saying his name right. And he introduces the MacGuffin of this movie that introduces the evil character, the big baddie, the big scary ghosty ghost in this. And then you have Patton Oswalt. He plays like a specialist in the occult or something like that. He's the one who basically gives the inevitable exposition as far as who the big bad ghost is in this. Okay, so kind of like what Dan Aykroyd and Harold Ramis did in the original Ghostbusters, where they're describing, Gozer and Zool and the Sumerian, and then Bill Murray, busts out his "So be good, for goodness sake, whoa," just that whole jail scene. Well, Bill Murray just it is comedic genius in the original Ghostbusters there, but. So yes, but so you get Kumail Nanjiani is a new character, and you get Patton Oswalt as another new character. I think you get this other guy that works for Ernie Hudson, because Ernie Hudson's Winston Zeddemore character, he's got his own separate team of Ghostbusters where they do like Ghostbusters research in this whole lab that they have, and so he's got Lucky, like the little girl, the girl that Finn Wolfhard has the hots for in the first one, or in Afterlife. Well, she somehow has relocated from Oklahoma to New York City, and she plays like this research intern that's working for Winston. And then she's working alongside another new character named, I can't remember what his name is. He's a pretty inconsequential character, but he's like a British guy. He's got his British accent, and he's played by like this British comedian there. What's his name here? Let me cheat here and see what his name is here. He is played by James Acaster. Yeah, so his character's name is Lars. So he's like this new character with a British accent. And he's one of the scientists that's working for Winston Zeddemore in Winston's lab here in Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. And as I spot out of my right eye here, see Battle Ravaged joining us in the live chat here on the Pilled side. Welcome, Battle Ravaged, here with his Beetlejuice sticker over there with "It's showtime." Yeah. Battle Ravaged, I'm sure he's anticipating the Beetlejuice sequel that'll be coming out here pretty soon with 71 or 72-year-old Michael Keaton playing Beetlejuice, which he can cover up pretty well because he's going to be covered up in Beetlejuice makeup there. But then Winona Ryder's back and all that stuff. But and who's that? Oh, Jenna Ortega is in the new Beetlejuice, and what's her face from the original, the redhead from the original Beetlejuice. Anyway, so yeah, but enough about Beetlejuice 2. That's coming up pretty soon, and Battle Ravaged I'm sure will be first in line for Beetlejuice 2 there. But and he goes on to say, yes, it's Van, not related to Roger Ebert. So yes, I am definitely not related to the late and sometimes great Roger Ebert. So but I'm not related to Roger Ebert, but I grew up on Roger Ebert and watching him and Gene Siskel Roger and Ebert at the movies. And I've told the story before where I couldn't watch movies for a long time as a kid because my parents wouldn't let us watch movies. And so Roger Ebert and Gene Siskel and their reviews were basically my movies. I had to listen to their or watch and listen to their reviews to tell me about the movies right there. But yeah, good to see you, Battle Ravaged here, and hopefully you get some more company there in live chat on Pilled. And then also, hey, that reminds me to remind you that you can live chat with me during this show on Pilled, obviously, because that's what Battle Ravaged is doing. But you can also live chat with me on Rumble and YouTube as well. Okay, so all right. Yeah, that's pretty much the plot. That's about as much about the plot as I'm going to give up here for Ghostbusters Frozen Empire there. I mean, you can read about it. You can look it up if you want in the, on the old Al Gore worldwide interweb and check that out there. So, but yeah, it's, the one other thing I'll mention here about the plot is that it's got a lot of nostalgia in it. It's got pretty much got member berries galore in it. A lot of hey, remember this and remember that. Hey, remember remember Slimer and remember the Ecto-1 and a lot of stuff like that. And I've got some guys here that would agree with me as well with as far as like the member berries that they have. And in case you don't know what member berries are, just Google member berries South Park, and you'll know what I'm talking about here. But these guys that I like to watch on Red Letter Media, just talking about all the nostalgia and the member berries and all that stuff. So,
proton pack, Slimer.
All right,
Proton.
Let's try that one more time here, because apparently I can't click on buttons correctly here. So we're going to start that from the very beginning.
The 80s. Proton pack. Proton pack. Slimer.
Slimer shows up.
Slimer.
They're driving Ecto-1.
I'm glad Walmart wasn't in this movie. That's all, folks. Thanks for watching.
So yeah, if you guys haven't checked out those guys like Jay and Mike on Red Letter Media, check them out. You can look them up on YouTube. So they're pretty funny. But yeah, they had that was off of their I think it was spoiler-filled review of Ghostbusters Frozen Empire right there. But they're pretty funny. But yeah, a lot of member berries in this where they try to suck people in, with the, hey, remember when they did this? And remember Ecto-1? And remember this character? We brought him back 40 years later. And remember that? We brought that back 40 years later. Yay! All that stuff. And, from what I gathered from when I went and saw Ghostbusters Frozen Empire from the audience, when I went and saw it, a lot of people were falling for the member berries in there. A whole lot of like kind of simple people, simpletons, the salt of the earth people of the earth. They're just like, wow, there's Ecto-1 and there's Slimer and there's that firehouse. Wow, so it works on people. It works on people. I mean, it's people that aren't very discerning and don't really worry about there being a good story or good performances. They just want to see Slimer, so yeah. Battle Rabbit says Gina Davis. Yeah, Gina Davis is not who I was thinking of here, to be honest with you. So yeah, Gina Davis, she is in the movie though. She's in the movie. She plays the brunette. She plays like Alec Baldwin's wife in Beetlejuice. But yeah, there's a redhead. I can't remember. She also played Macaulay Culkin's mom in Home Alone, as well as who I was thinking of. But yeah, but hey, if you so Battle Rabbit says never seen it. If you're referring to Beetlejuice, you should definitely see Beetlejuice. Definitely check that out. That's a great movie. So, but I don't know if that's who you're talking about right there, Battle Ravage. But yeah, check that out if you haven't checked that out yet, right there. So. All right. Well, we got all kinds of other cool stuff to say about Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. And I'm going to throw up this Frozen Empire poster. So I really drive home the point of what movie I'm talking about here on this episode of Movies America Live. Okay. And, as your mom or dad used to say to devastating effect, at least it was devastating in my experience when my mom and dad used to say this. They used to say, I'm not mad, I'm disappointed. Okay. And that's how I feel about Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. They tease this at the end of Ghostbusters Afterlife with the prospect of everyone relocating to the location of the original Ghostbusters, that the firehouse in New York City, like I mentioned before. And I mean, I just had hopes that writers/directors Jason Reitman and Gil Kenan would, take that prospect-rich location, their prospect-rich location change and just run with it, But instead, our hopes are, were met with being disappointed. Like Louis Tully being locked out of his own apartment in the original Ghostbusters. Remember, that was the running gag in the original Ghostbusters. Is Rick Moranis' Louis Tully character just kept locking himself out of his apartment. And now that original Ghostbusters created what I know, what I'm well aware is an insurmountable mountain to try to summit. But Afterlife at least got to base camp. Frozen Empire it unfortunately doesn't have the genius writers of Dan Aykroyd and Rick Moranis, and of course the late great Harold Ramis. However, neither did Afterlife, but it did manage to bring some funny, bring the funny a little bit and be mostly entertaining. Now, the screenplay for Frozen Empire just feels mostly phoned in. It's cold as ice, as its subtitle implies, with little heart in it, even when they try to awkwardly force some heart in. And that's done mostly with a predictable subplot about Phoebe, that's McKenna Grace's character, Phoebe Spangler, making friends with a girl ghost played by Alyn Lind, who was also in the movie Dr. Sleep, the sequel to The Shining. And then you also have another subplot with Paul Rudd's Gary trying to be a dad to Phoebe and Trevor. Trevor is Finn Wolfhard's character. And so those subplots are used to try to awkwardly shoehorn in some emotion into this, some heart. But it just falls flat on its face right there. And pretty much it just all lands like a pile of devil dong. Devil dong? Woo! There we go. Yeah, let me try it again. It all just lands with like a pile of devil dung, like one of from one of Gozer's devil dogs from the original movie here. And so those two subplots are just two of what seem like 337 subplots, which feels pretty much like they tried to stuff a 10-episode season of a Ghostbusters TV series into a not quite 2-hour long movie. Okay, this movie is like 1 hour and 55 minutes long. I mean, that's like stuffing too many ghosts into a containment unit and expecting good things. Okay, it's not going to go well. Okay, and I know I keep going back to it, but the 1984 Ghostbusters kept the subplots to a minimum. It was a very simple story about a group of scientists trying to start a paranormal investigation business, and then horny Bill Murray trying to check out Sigourney Weaver and save the world from an ancient evil that uses Sigourney Weaver's apartment building as a doorway into our world. Okay, I mean, very simple plotting to it whatsoever. Okay, it's not this hodgepodge of all kinds of unnecessary, stupid subplots. And all of that was peppered with, advanced for the time visual effects from, Richard Edlund from Industrial Light and Magic, and peppered with great comedic writing, delivered with masterful comic timing by extremely talented comic actors. I might just have to end this live stream early and just go watch that original Ghostbusters again, to be quite honest with you. So, I mean, and I said even having watched the original Ghostbusters last night, for research purposes right there. So, oh yeah, so there we go. Oh yeah, you got it right. Battle Ravage, Catherine O'Hara. Yes, exactly. So kudos to you, my man, Catherine O'Hara from SCTV, like you said. So yep, SCTV, the Canadian comedy show right there. Oh, you have not seen the original Ghostbusters Battle Ravaged? Oh man, you got to see it. Gots to see it. Okay, so after this episode, make a point to go see the original Ghostbusters. Okay, if I'm understanding you correctly right there, so got to go check that out. Okay, but now I do warn you. I do have to warn you. If you do watch it, it's going to ruin every Ghostbusters sequel for you afterwards, because every Ghostbusters sequel after that is going to pale in comparison to the original Ghostbusters. But the original Ghostbusters came out in 1984, so obviously you don't need me to tell you this, but keep that in mind, because it does look like a movie from 1984. Okay, you just see the kind of cars they have in 1984, and the visual effects aren't as good as what we have now and that kind of thing. So, but it's still hilarious as hell. So that is absolutely true. All right, so let me do this here real quick here. I just want to take an opportunity to let you guys know all about our tdpn.locals.com website. As you can see, you see it right up there at the very top, tdpn.locals.com. And why am I telling you about that? Well, that is our website, our Till Death Podcast Network website, where we have all our fantastic content, like our videos and blogs and articles all about movies and entertainment and alcohol, booze, cocktail recipes, music, politics, hot button topics, just politics and world events and just weird out there stories are just out there. I mean, just and we present it to you in a way that you will not see anywhere else. Okay, very unique. Okay, and so as you see down below, if you put in promo code TDPN, you get 1 month free access to everything on the tdpn.locals.com website. You get VIP access. You get carte blanche. You get to sit up in the VIP lounge with free bottle service and the hot waitresses. And okay, maybe not those last few things I mentioned there, but some pretty good VIP access. Okay, and you get that all free for 1 month with the promo code TDPN. And then after that, it's just a measly $3 minimum. Okay, $3. That's nothing. $3. That's like a box of Twinkies. Okay, like the Twinkies you see in the original Ghostbusters. Okay, so it's measly money. Okay, but yeah, check it out. tdpn.locals.com. Now, of course, check it out after this episode. Okay, all right. So not now. Don't go check it out now, but after the episode. All right. Okay, so there we go. Wanted to let you guys know about that. So yes. All right. So in Battle Rabbit says TDPN for life. Yes, TDPN for life. Yes. There we go. Let's get that right there. All right. So yeah, and Battle Rabbit says he's not going to watch any sequels. So I hear you. Right. Absolutely. So, I mean, Ghostbusters Afterlife is okay. But yeah, it's not as good as the original Ghostbusters there at all. I mean, but what is, to be quite honest with you. Let me remind you guys also to like this episode. You just got to hit the like button down below. Like this episode if you feel like that. If you would, just smash that like button if you would. And then while you're down there smashing buttons, smash that subscribe or follow button down there as well, okay? And that's if you haven't already, okay? If you're already subscribed to my Movies Merica channel or following it already, well, don't bother, because then don't bother clicking on it again, because that'll unsubscribe you or unfollow you, okay? But if you haven't subscribed or followed to me yet, yeah, click that subscribe or follow button down there, all right? And you can do that on my Movies Merica pages on Gab and X and Rumble and Facebook and all those. I mean, Pill.net You can follow or subscribe to me there, and that's free of charge. Okay, so that definitely helps me out. I would appreciate it. And then, hey, if you follow me and you DM me saying, "Hey, Chucklehead, I followed you, so follow me back," I will follow you back. Okay, so there's something in it for you. You will not go unrewarded. All right, so and then hit that notification bell down there as well, so that you get notified whenever a brand new, hot, fresh, piping episode of Movies America is ready just for you. Absolutely. And then get in the live chat. Like Battle Ravage is in the live chat on Pilled. Get in the live chat, okay? Because I want to talk to Battle Ravage, and I want to talk to you about Movies America, or not Movies America. Well, we can talk about that too. But I want to talk to you about the Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, or any Ghostbusters movie. Anything Ghostbusters related you want, or hell, anything movie related, okay? Get in the live chat and let's talk right there. And Battle Ravage is the cost of a cup of coffee. There you go. For just the cost of a cup of coffee, you can support a starving African child, or support tdpn.locals.com. yeah. Tell that starving African child to look for themselves, and instead subscribe to tdpn.locals.com. Right there. So, all right. So we got plenty of other stuff to talk about here with about Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. That is for sure. And really, it's break down the cast of this movie time. Okay. Now, I'd guess that even though Paul Rudd is a much bigger name, the main character in this is really McKenna Grace's Phoebe character. She was hands down the best character in Ghostbusters Afterlife. She was comedically awkward, vulnerable, and down to earth. Now, in Frozen Empire, they leave her with just vulnerable, okay, and add in tons of that anyone can be Tony Stark no matter how old you are crap we see in all too many movies nowadays. Okay, we see it all too often, and it just gets tired. I mean, just like what was that? Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. You know, we have like anybody can be Tony Stark. You know, then you have like Ant-Man. What was it? Ant-Man, the latest Ant-Man movie, where Ant-Man's daughter is basically a female Tony Stark. Like, everybody's kids can be Tony Stark. Okay, and so we have that in this movie with McKenna Grace's Phoebe character. It's like, come on, like, you're doing it to death, Hollywood. Just stop. And then you have Paul Rudd's Gary character, who just kind of coasts through this with his everyman comedic quips that don't quite land as much as they did in Afterlife. Now, they sure as hell don't land as much as they do in his better movies, like Anchorman, Role Models, The 40-Year-Old Virgin, I Love You, Man, and the first Ant-Man. Here he's trying to navigate the tough road it can be as a stepdad. In my opinion, though, very badly. Next, we have Carrie Coon's Callie Spengler, who is, of course, Egon Spengler's daughter. And she is just kind of there in Frozen Empire. Now, I do like the idea that she's carrying on her dad's legacy by being a Ghostbuster along with her kids. They should have concentrated on that more than just the many other stupid-ass subplots. Now, and then you have Finn Wolfhard as Trevor Spangler. He just keeps milking that Stranger Things fame as long as he possibly can, essentially, by being pretty irrelevant in this, like he was in Afterlife. He was pretty irrelevant in that one as well. I mean, you could zap Finn Wolfhard's character into one of those ghost traps, and this movie would just keep chugging right along. He's pretty much just used for some product placement purposes, like Cheetos in this. And then you have Lucky and Podcast here because, well, they were in the prior movie, so I guess somehow they have to be here in New York City instead of the small Oklahoma town we saw them in Afterlife. They just kind of have to just, put them in, just got to plop them into this movie here in New York City. Whatever. Just because they were in the prior movie doesn't mean you have to have them in this movie, okay? And then for my next point, can someone educate me on what the obsession is with Kumail Nanjiani? I mean, is he actually funny to other people? I mean, I guess yes, because he keeps getting work. I mean, to me, it's just as if Hollywood is desperately trying to make Kumail Nanjiani a thing, like trying to make Fetch a thing. All right. I mean, he was useless in Eternals. Like pretty much that whole movie was useless. And then he really stepped in it by pretty much saying the reason some people hated the Eternals or the Eternals movie is because they're racist here. And let me get you some supporting video evidence of that. Okay.
Nanjiani is calling out the bad reviews of Eternals and opening up about how they traumatized him. In a new episode of the Inside of You podcast with Michael Rosenbaum, the comedian and actor got very frank about the Marvel movie and its reception, saying, "I think there was some weird soup in the atmosphere for why that movie got slammed so much. And I think not much of it has to do with the actual quality of the movie." Marvel's Eternals came out at the peak of the pandemic in 2021 and currently has a 47% on Rotten Tomatoes. Nanjiani reveals that this caught Marvel off guard. It was really, really hard because Marvel thought the movie was going to be really, really well reviewed. And then he goes on to say how he became too aware of the negative reactions and that he was reading every review and checking too much. Kumail then opens up, pretty courageously, I think, about how he started to go to therapy because of all this, and that he still talks to his therapist about that time, explaining, "Emily, Nanjiani's wife and writing partner, says that I do have trauma from it."
So, yeah, I mean, he says that there are people that liked Eternals for reasons other than, or did not like Eternals for reasons other than the quality. And I mean, so I think that we can read between the lines, right? If you have at least a couple of brain cells to rub together, you can tell what he's implying with that. He's basically saying fans, all those millions of people that actually pay for movies and TV and that kind of thing, that actually pay the paychecks of adult pretenders like Kumail Nanjiani. He's insulting them. He's basically calling them racist because they didn't like his movie. And they have to tell themselves that because their egos will never let them come to terms with the fact that, hey, maybe you make some very low quality content. Okay. Maybe you're not quite as great as you possibly think that you are. Now, I have to say, Nanjiani has done at least one good project. He was in a good movie called The Big Sick. If you haven't seen that, I think The Big Sick was like a Prime Video original movie. But yeah, check that out. He's in that. He's with like Holly Hunter's in that, along with Ray Romano is in it as well. It's called The Big Sick. It's pretty good. And then also, we have Patton Oswalt. He shows up in Frozen Empire 2, and I just don't know why. Now, I did used to like Patton Oswalt's comedy back when he used to joke about killing George Lucas with a shovel and making fun of, Kentucky Fried Chicken or KFC famous bowls. Since then, though, he's just continually proven what a bona fide tool bag he is in real life by basically being a useful idiot to lefties that want to obliterate this country. And I do try to separate the artist from the art as much as I possibly can. I try my hardest to do that, but people like Patton Oswalt make it so hard to do that. Then, of course, you have the original Ghostbusters cast. Like I was mentioning before, you got Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Ernie Hudson, and Annie Potts there. And, of course, she played the secretary in the original one. Her and Egon were, I guess, teased to be an item in that. And Bill Murray is fantastic in this, but you just don't get enough of Bill Murray in this. And he does provide the few funny lines, the few lines that actually made me chuckle. Okay. And basically when he comes to the movie at the end. Now, he's only in a couple of scenes in this movie, but it's when he comes in at the end is when he's the funniest. He was actually better. They made better uses of the old characters in Afterlife. I thought, particularly when they brought back, the ghost version of Harold Ramis, which a lot of cynical, jaded people hated them bringing back the ghost version of Harold Ramis, because those are the people that they probably got emotionally impacted by it, and they don't want to come to terms with the fact that, hey, they can get emotional, and they didn't like how that movie made them feel like, oh, you almost made me cry. I hate you, Afterlife, for making me almost cry. So they did not like Harold Ramis being brought back, because it did make, the ending of Ghostbusters Afterlife emotional when they brought Harold Ramis back. But all that to say is they made better use of the original, the OG cast of Ghostbusters. They did a better job of using them in Ghostbusters Afterlife, I thought. And then they had some awkward cameos or awkward member berries in this by bringing back some other old characters back just for nostalgia bait, like they brought back Walter Peck, William Atherton's character. Remember, he was the tool bag EPA character that got pummeled by Marshmallow in the original Ghostbusters there. So, hey, we see Agent X6 joining us in the live chat on the Pilled side. Welcome, Agent X6, right there. And he's just blessing us with some fantastic stickers here on the Pilled side. So, tuning in for some Ghostbusters Frozen Empire info. And then another awkward cameo or appearance in here is the library director from the original Ghostbusters movie that we saw in there. So let me get that up there. I totally forgot I didn't have that poster up there. But the library director, where when Bill Murray is asking the scared old librarian lady, like, are you menstruating right now? the library director is like, what does that got to do with it? And Bill Murray is like, back off, man. I'm a scientist. So that library director, somehow they felt the need to bring that guy back, because just because of member berries. Okay, so they wanted to bring him back, just for the whole purpose of remember that guy, So it's sad that they had to do that, but they just plopped him into this movie awkwardly there for sure. So, but they're just they're doing their thing here. So, and so just some other random thoughts where I'm not going to totally crap on this movie, because I did think some of the ghost effects in Ghostbusters Frozen Empire were pretty cool. They did have a ghost that was in Winston's Ghostbusters lab that they keep behind, like, this ghost containment facility, and they had this ghost that had like these big fangs and kind of hidden in the darkness and whatnot. It just looked like this demon creature with the big fangs and shit. I mean, that was pretty good. Pretty good character. Kind of somewhat scary and cool in the way that they created the visual effects for that. So not quite on the same par as the very cool, creepy effects of the old librarian ghost that they had in the original one. That they actually do bring back in Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, where it's that old librarian ghost where Bill Murray's trying to talk to her and she's like, shh. And then Dan Aykroyd's Ray character was like, get her. That ghost, like, rah, comes after him. And an interesting bit of trivia is they were going to have I think a full-bodied version of that ghost in Ghostbusters, but the makers of Ghostbusters back in 1984 were like, that is entirely too scary. We can't use that version of the old librarian ghost. It's going to scare too many people. This is a PG movie. So they ended up using the full-body version of that ghost in the movie Fright Night that the visual effects artist from Ghostbusters did the following year. So the vampire creature at the end of Fright Night is the full-bodied version of the old librarian scary ghost from Ghostbusters. So yeah, a little trivia there to go along with the random thoughts. And then also, this happens to be the first Ghostbusters movie since the late great Ivan Reitman died, the original director or the director of the original Ghostbusters and co-writer of the original Ghostbusters. There, I believe. So also he was a Actually, no, I don't think he didn't. I don't think he wrote the original Ghostbusters, but he was a co-writer on Ghostbusters Afterlife, which his son Jason Reitman directed Ghostbusters Afterlife. And of course, Jason Reitman, Ivan Reitman's son, was actually just a little kid when they created or when they filmed the original 1984 Ghostbusters. And so if you YouTube Jason Reitman and Ghostbusters, you'll see like old footage of a very young kid Jason Reitman just wandering around the sets of the 1984 Ghostbusters there. So, and yes, yeah, Agent X6 says, get her. Didn't work out so well. And wisely says that, yeah, he'll stick with the original two movies right there. So now I don't know if you've seen Ghostbusters Afterlife, but it's not a bad watch. If you could watch it for free, it's not the worst movie. Definitely better than the 2016 feminazi version of Ghostbusters right there. And, yep, Battle Ravage mentions Stripes, another great Bill Murray movie. So his first collaboration with Harold Ramis when Bill Murray and Harold Ramis both go into the Army in Stripes right there. Fantastic movie. That's the facts, Jack. And I love the classic line from Stripes, lighten up, Francis. And then, hey, that's one of the first movies we saw John Candy in, Stripes there. So, yeah, go check out Stripes for some classic Bill Murray, Harold Ramis, and John Candy. So, and apparently Agent X6 was not a fan of Afterlife. So he would like to wipe his nose with some Ghostbusters Afterlife right there. So, and Battle Rabbit, just show us a clip of the stop menstruating clip right there. So hopefully that's what you meant. You don't want a clip of her actually menstruating. Yeah. So yeah, fantastic live chats there from the Pilled side. You guys are going to be rewarded shortly with some gold pills releasing the Kraken. Yes. Okay. So, I'm getting a little thirsty here, everybody, and maybe you guys are too. Maybe you guys are drinking here. And if you guys are, let me know what you guys are drinking on this Sunday here during this Movies America Live. But, yeah, I think it's time for a little brew review time. All right, so today's brew is a little, let me get this over here. Little Rahr & Sons Iron Thistle. This is a Rahr & Sons Brewing Company from Fort Worth, Texas. And this is, their Iron Thistle Scottish Ale, their contribution to the world of Scottish ales. And this is a dark ruby ale, to be more specific about what kind of brew this is. And it's got like this full-bodied but subtle bitterness to it. And it's got what I would call like this malt-driven caramel sweetness. And it also ends up with a taste that is like a light, so tasty molasses flavor to it, okay? And I can't stress enough how light I mean when I say that. So, because no one wants to think of themselves as drinking molasses, right? Or caramel when they're drinking beer, right? When I mention those two things, I mean they're very, very subtle and light in this beer in there, but in there enough to enhance the flavor of this beer. And again, if I hated this beer or if I didn't like this beer, I would tell you, okay? If I thought this beer was dog crap, I would tell you, okay? Because I'm not getting any money from Rahr & Sons Brewing Company. But yeah, I would recommend this beer. It's a 7% alcohol by volume, 35 on the IBU scale. That's International Bitterness Units is what that stands for. But yeah, it's just, I could see more people drinking this like during the like the holiday season, Thanksgiving, Christmas, all that stuff right there. But for my money, you can drink this all year round. Okay, so you're probably not going to be drinking it like poolside or out on your bass boat. It's a little too thick for that, but giggity. Yeah, pretty good stuff. And to that end, I'm going to stop yapping about it and take a tug off this because my throat is begging me to get a drink off this. So here we go. Ooh, that's good iron thistle. That's my cheese ball grin right there. Okay, but yeah, pick yourself up some Raw & Sons iron thistle. I could probably get it somewhere, like drizzly.com or openbar.com. Or Open Bar is actually an app. Or drizzly.com, or what's the other one? GoPuff.com is another place you can get that app. But yeah, check it out, everybody. But that has been Brew Review time. Battle Ravage. I'll take a case. I like the way you think right there. So, and yeah, Asian X6 is, she sounds good. There we go. So I can't say it because I try to keep the Movies America live on Sundays clean for the kiddies. I try to keep it, I try to keep this rated G. I was about to say PG, but they say that word in PG movies. Right there. So, and then Thursday night, then I just go X-rated and R-rated, and I get all debaucherous and all that stuff, and just curse my eyeballs out on Thursday night. But Sundays I try to keep it clean. So for the good Lord on a Sunday. There we go. But you're right, Battle Ravage. Yeah, it does sound like Smithwick's right there. Not quite as thick as Smithwick's right there. I'm sorry about that. A little beer burp there. So, but yeah, it's kind of in the same vein right there with that. All right, everybody. I'm going to have my Movies America spoiler warning show, like I was just mentioning there a second ago, on this Thursday. And we'll be talking all spoilery about Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, okay? So if you've seen Ghostbusters Frozen Empire and you want to have some, deep down discussion about it, then yeah, join me for Movies America spoiler warning on Rumble and Pilled and YouTube this Thursday night at 7 Eastern. So that's 6 Central, 5 Mountain, and 4 Pacific, okay? And yeah, you'll just be able to get to the link to the show from my X page or from Rumble, Gab, or and Pilled. Okay, so just wait till Thursday. You'll see the links there on Thursday during the day. Usually comes out like in the morning on Thursday, and you can join me for the Ghostbusters Frozen Empire show on Thursday night. Everybody, want to see you there. And then also, if you want to do me a solid, just turn the show on. And if you want to help me out, but you don't want to spoil the movie for yourself, just turn the episode on and then just mute it. Okay, so that's what a lot of people do. That they tell me, they say they just turn the episode on some laptop in some other room, or they're browsing. They're doing something else on their laptop or on their computer, and they just open up a separate tab and they just fire up my Movies America spoiler warning show and just mute it, just to help me out with watch minutes, okay, and help me out with the old almighty algorithm that is our master and overlord here on YouTube and Rumble and all that good stuff. So yes. All right. So what else should we talk about in this right here? Well, as I always like to do with any movie is I just want to, I always like to point out if any movie that I review would be considered a woke after school special. And Ghostbusters Frozen Empire is not a woke after school special whatsoever, unless you count having a woke wuss like Patton Oswalt in the movie. But outside of that, it's not woke at all. I mean, they do try to imply, like the Rainbow Mafia, they do throw a subplot in this where they not so subtly imply that the character of Phoebe is basically is growing up to be a lesbian, basically, because she has that subplot where it seems at first she just wants to be friends with this ghost girl that shows up. This ghost girl looks like she's, 16, 17 years old or something like that. And so they start out the subplot with making it look like, they just want to be friends, just want to hang out and, talk about boys and whatever and that kind of thing. But then eventually, some things happen with that subplot where they do imply like, oh, so they don't want to just be friends, okay? And so got to a point where I thought maybe we might see some ghost scissoring, at some point in Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, okay? So if you know what I'm talking about. But no, it is not a woke after school special whatsoever, like so many movies tend to be nowadays, because they have a lesson to teach you people. They don't want to entertain you so much. They have a lesson to teach you peasants about the way you should live your life, okay? All right. So, hey, just to remind you guys, if you guys are enjoying what you're watching and you just want to show your appreciation or back up your appreciation, with a few bucks here or there, you can give me what they call Rumble rants if you're watching me on Rumble. And that's your opportunity to give me $1 or $2 or 100 if you want, by clicking on the $ button on Rumble down by where you type in your live chat. That's, again, that $ symbol. Now, if you are on YouTube and you want to show a little financial appreciation, you can give me what's called a super chat. And you give me a super chat by hitting the dollar bill button down by where you type in your live chat. And and when you click on that dollar bill, it'll just ask you how much you want to donate to me. And then if you're in the pilled world, like Battle Ravaged and Agent X6 are, you can give me what's called gold pills, okay? And in the pilled world, gold pills equate to moolah, to money, okay? And that just shows me some financial appreciation. If you are so inclined, don't feel pressured to do it, okay? That's only if you feel or are able to do it. That's all fine. I just like to mention it just in case people have forgotten, okay? So and that way I can put braces on all my 17 kids, okay? And also buy cases of iron thistle for the people there in the live chat, particularly Battle Ravaged, since he was mentioning he wants a case of that. So, all right. So, my final thoughts on Ghostbusters Frozen Empire is I would not waste your money going to see this at the theater. Okay, I know how expensive movies at the theaters can be nowadays, and it's not one of those movies that you should bother to go see, like a Dune Part 2 or a Beekeeper. No movies like that. Those are the two movies. Two of the movies this year that I would say are worth your money and worth your time going out to see. But Ghostbusters Frozen Empire is not one of those movies whatsoever. So don't bother yourself, and especially don't bother if you got a family you'll have to take. Don't bother going to check that out right there. You can wait till it comes out on streaming or hard copy, or I wouldn't even bother. I definitely would not bother buying it on hard copy either. It is just not worth that whatsoever. Okay, so all right, so now comes the time for those in the pill chat to get rewarded for just being just the stand-up people that they are, for being here and supporting me by being in a live chat and watching the show, okay? And that is releasing the scratching. Yes. So releasing the scratching means I'm just going to dump a bunch of gold pills on everybody that's in the pilled live chat. And like I said before, gold pills equate to money. So they're about to get paid. All right. So here we go in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And the scratching has been officially released there in the live pill chat. Yeah. So grab all the gold pills you can there, Battle Ravage and Agent X6. Do it. Grab it. And Agent X6 says, I just hope they don't screw up the new Beetlejuice movie. Yeah, I hope that as well. Okay. Now, I saw the trailer. I do not have a good feeling about it whatsoever. Do not, but especially since I'm a movie critic, I will be watching Beetlejuice 2, and I'll give it its just due. But that first trailer does not bode well for the movie whatsoever. So yeah, but you know what? I'm hoping that trailer proves me wrong, to be quite honest, everybody. So, but anyway, so hey, again, everybody, hey, if you haven't already, hit the like button down there, okay, and then follow or subscribe to me on Rumble and X. Okay, I'm on all those locations under Movies Merica. Okay, so and you can check me out on Facebook as well. I'm under there at Movies Merica or Van Ebert. I'm on Facebook under Van Ebert as well, and all those locations. So just look me up everywhere. Okay, just scour to and fro for Movies Merica, right? And follow me there. And hey, I'll follow you back if you DM me and let me know that you follow me. So, and we got some big winners there in Pilled right there with Battle Ravage and Agent X6 winning gold pills here and there. All right, everybody. So as I always say, get out there, people. Those movies aren't going to watch themselves. See ya.
Hey, everybody! Hey! I got the police after me. They're coming after me, okay? But I got just enough time to ask you. Just like this video, if you would, and then subscribe to this channel, okay? I'm gonna be in handcuffs pretty soon. I gotta tell you. Hey, so before they haul me off, make sure you watch these videos over here, okay? And thanks for watching this video and the Till Death Podcast Network, okay? I gotta go.